Welcome to the Daily Chronological Bible. My name's Hunter, and we are reading through the Bible in chronological order as a single story. And that story is all about Jesus. It is a revelation of Him, and He has revealed to us the heart of the Father. Today is May the 2nd. We're reading through the New Living Translation. This is the word of the Lord. 1 Chronicles 23. When David was an old man, he appointed his son Solomon to be king over Israel. David summoned all the leaders of Israel, together with the priests and Levites. All the Levites who were 30 years old or older were counted, and the total came to 38,000. Then David said, "From all the Levites, 24,000 will supervise the work at the temple of the Lord. Another 6,000 will serve as officials and judges. Another 4,000 will work as gatekeepers, and 4,000 will praise the Lord with the musical instruments I have made." Then David divided the Levites into divisions, named after the clans descended from the three sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The Gershonite family units were defined by their lines of descent from Libni and Shemaiah. The sons of Gershon, three of the descendants of Libni, were Jehiel, the family leader, Zetham, and Joel. These were the leaders of the family of Libni. Three of the descendants of Shemaiah were Shelomith, Haziel, and Haran. Four other descendants of Shemaiah were Jahath, Ziza, Jeush, and Beriah. Jahath was the family leader, and Ziza was next. Jeush and Beriah were counted as a single family because neither had many sons. Four of the descendants of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of Aram were Aaron and Moses. Aaron and his descendants were set apart to dedicate the most holy things, to offer sacrifices in the Lord's presence, to serve the Lord, and to pronounce blessings in His name forever. As for Moses, the man of God, his sons were included with the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. The descendants of Gershom included Shubael, the family leader. Eleazar had only one son, Rehabiah, the family leader. Rehabiah had numerous descendants. The descendants of Izhar, including Shelomith, the family leader. The descendants of Hebron included Jeriah, the family leader, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, and Jachamim the fourth. The descendants of Uzziel included Micah, the family leader, and Isahiah the second. The descendants of Merari included Mahali and Mushi. The sons of Mahali were Eleazar and Kish. Eleazar died with no sons, only daughters. His daughters married their cousins, the sons of Kish. Three of the descendants of Mushi were Mahali, Eder, and Jerimoth. These were the descendants of Levi by clans, the leaders of their family groups registered carefully by name, and each had to be 20 years old or older to qualify for service in the house of the Lord. For David said, "The Lord, the God of Israel, has given us peace, and He will always live in Jerusalem." Now the Levites will no longer need to carry the tabernacle and its furnishings from place to place. In accordance with David's final instructions, all the Levites 20 years old or older were registered for service. The work of the Levites was to assist the priest, the descendants of Aaron, as they served at the house of the Lord. They also took care of the courtyards and side rooms and helped perform the ceremonial purification and served in many other ways in the house of God. They were in charge of the sacred bread that was set out on the table, the choice flour for the grain offerings, and the wafers made without yeast, the cakes cooked in olive oil, and other mixed breads. They were also responsible to check all the weights and measures, and each morning and evening they stood before the Lord to sing songs of thanks and praise to Him. They assisted with the burnt offerings that were presented to the Lord on Sabbath days, at new moon celebrations, and at all the appointed festivals. The required number of Levites served in the Lord's presence at all times, following all the procedures they had been given. And so, under the supervision of the priests, the Levites watched over the tabernacle and the temple and faithfully carried out their duties of service at the house of the Lord. 1 Chronicles 24. This is how Aaron's descendants, the priests, were divided into groups for service. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father, And they had no sons, so only Eleazar and Ithamar were left to carry on as priests. With the help of Zadok, who was a descendant of Eleazar, and of Ahimelech, who was a descendant of Ithamar, David divided Aaron's descendants into groups according to their various duties. Eleazar's descendants were divided into 16 groups, and Ithamar into 8, for there were more family leaders among the descendants of Eleazar. All tasks were assigned to various groups by means of sacred lots, so that no preference would be shown. For there were many qualified officials serving God in the sanctuary among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. Shemaiah son of Nethanel, a Levite, acted as secretary and wrote down the names and assignments in the presence of the king, the officials, Zadok the priest, Ahimelech son of Abiathar, and the family leaders of the priests and Levites. The descendants of Eleazar and Ithamar took turns casting lots. The first lot fell to Jehorib, the second lot fell to Jediah, the third lot fell to Harim, the fourth lot fell to Sorim, the fifth lot fell to Malchijah, the sixth lot fell to Majimin, the seventh lot fell to Hakoz, the eighth lot fell to Abijah, the ninth lot fell to Jeshua, the 10th lot fell to Shechaniah, the 11th lot fell to Eliashib, the 12th lot fell to Joachim, the 13th lot fell to Huppah, the 14th lot fell to Jeshobib, the 15th lot fell to Bilgah, the 16th lot fell to Immer, the 17th lot fell to Hazir, the 18th lot fell to Hapaziz, the 19th lot fell to Pethahiah, the 20th lot fell to Jakazel, the 21st lot fell to Jachin, the 22nd lot fell to Gamul, the 23rd lot fell to Daliah, the 24th lot fell to Maziah. Each group carried out its appointed duties in the house of the Lord according to the procedures established by their ancestor David in obedience to the commands of the Lord, the God of Israel. These were the other family leaders descended from Levi. From the descendants of Amram, the leader was Shubuel. From the descendants of Shebuel, the leader was Jehadiah. From the descendants of Rehabiah, the leader was Ishiah. From the descendants of Ishar, the leader was Shelomith. From the descendants of Shelomith, the leader was Jahath. From the descendants of Hebron, Jeriah was the leader, Amariah was second, Jahaziel was third, and Jachamim was fourth. From the descendants of Uzziel, the leader was Micah. From the descendants of Micah, the leader was Shamir, along with Ishiah, the brother of Micah. From the descendants of Ishiah, the leader was Zechariah. From the descendants of Moriah, the leaders were Mahali and Mushi. From the descendants of Jaziah, the leader was Beno. From the descendants of Merari, the leaders were Beno, Shaham, Zekur, and Ibri. From the descendants of Mahali, the leader was Eleazar, though he had no sons. From the descendants of Kish, the leader was Jerahmeel. From the leaders of Mushi, the leaders were Mahali, Eder, and Jerimoth. These were the descendants of Levi in their various families. Like the descendants of Aaron, they were assigned to their duties by means of sacred lot, without regard to age or rank. Lots were drawn in the presence of King David, Zadok, Ahimelech, and the family leaders of the priests and the Levites. 1 Chronicles chapter 25. David and the army commanders then appointed men from the families of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun to proclaim God's messages to the accompaniment of lyres, harps, and cymbals. Here's a list of their names and their work. From the sons of Asaph, there were Zakur, Joseph, Nathanael, and Asurlah. They worked under the direction of their father Asaph, who proclaimed God's messages by the king's orders. From the sons of Jeduthun, there were Gedaliah, Zeri, Jeshariah, Shemiah, Heshabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 in all. They worked under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who proclaimed God's messages to the accompaniment of the lyre, offering thanks and praise to the Lord. From the sons of Heman, there were Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uzziel, Shubael, Jerimoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Elithah, Gedalti, Ramatzi Etzer, Joshbekocha, Malathi, Hothir, and Mahazoith. All these were the sons of Heman, the king's seer, for God honored him with 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the direction of their fathers as they made music at the house of the Lord. Their responsibilities included the playing of cymbals, harps, and lyres at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman reported directly to the king. They and their families were all trained in making music before the Lord. Each of them, 288 in all, was an accomplished musician. The musicians were appointed to their term of service by means of sacred lot, without regard to whether they were young or old, teacher or student. The first lot fell to Joseph of the Asaph clan and 12 of his sons and relatives. The second lot fell to Gedaliah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The third lot fell to Zakur and 12 of his sons and relatives. The fourth lot fell to Zeri and 12 of his sons and relatives. The fifth lot fell to Nathanael and 12 of his sons and relatives. The sixth lot fell to Bukiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The seventh lot fell to Asarela and 12 of his sons and relatives. The eighth lot fell to Jeshiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The ninth lot fell to Mattaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 10th lot fell to Shemaiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 11th lot fell to Uzziel and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 12th lot fell to Heshabiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 13th lot fell to Shebuel and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 14th lot fell to Mattaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 15th lot fell to Jerimoth and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 16th lot fell to Hananiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 17th lot fell to Jeshokobasha and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 18th lot fell to Hanani and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 19th lot fell to Malathi and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 20th lot fell to Eliathah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 21st lot fell to Hothir and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 22nd lot fell to Gedalti and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 23rd lot fell to Mazoith and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 24th lot fell to Ramatzi Etzer and 12 of his sons and relatives. Thank you for joining us at the Daily Chronological Bible. You can find out more about our other podcasts at dailyradiobible.com, where people from all around the world come to join us in this journey through the Scriptures, where we allow the Scriptures to point us to the God who is love, the God revealed to us fully in Jesus. Again, that website is dailyradiobible.com. Until tomorrow, let's go forward in God's joy. Let's let His joy be our strength. And let us always remember this, that you